Hi, it's Rosie O'Kelly back with another computer session for you. Today we're going to talk about Wi-Fi. One of the most frustrating things for a lot of computer owners is when they want to go wireless and use the Wi-Fi, sometimes the Wi-Fi is not cooperative. In most cases, this will be because you reinstalled the operating system. It could also be because you've hit a switch or something on your computer that's disabled your Wi-Fi and you may not even know about it. The important point I want to make to you is I've probably restored 50 laptops and desktops over my 20 years of working with computers, more as a hobbyist, but as a serious rebuilder, and one that also does motherboard level repairs on computers. And one of the most difficult challenges I had, especially in the early years when wireless was just coming into computers, was re-enabling wireless on computers that were designed for it. The good news is that your Wi-Fi card, in other words, your built-in little packet that helps enable the Wi-Fi system on your computer, rarely goes bad. The Wi-Fi is what we call a passive component. It sits in there. It's not like your fan or your disk drive that has moving components that can wear out. Because it just sits there, it's pretty impervious to damage. It takes a lot for it to go bad. Maybe your computer overheats or something scorches it, or perhaps somebody drops a drink down the front of the keyboard. That'll do a number on it, let me tell you. There's a couple things I want you to know when you're checking out your Wi-Fi. The first thing I want you to do is realize, and we'll now cut over to the other camera for this, and I'll film this. The other thing I want you to realize is that every computer is a little different in terms of how it's laid out. I'm now showing on the upload here my HP Pavilion ZD7000A laptop. This is a favorite laptop of mine because it has the Harman Kardon speakers in it, which are absolutely fantastic for getting good audio quality. But I had a devil of a time getting the Wi-Fi working on this unit, and I'm going to tell you a couple things that you can do to check that. First of all, if you look up here, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, there's a Wi-Fi antenna signal there. And if this button is turned off, guess what? Your Wi-Fi is not enabled. And I'm going to tell you something worse. I sat here and turned this, when I boot this computer up, and I have the Wi-Fi mode on, do you know it takes about 8 minutes for that Wi-Fi to be enabled? And if you're not familiar with your computer, during those 8 minutes, you may think that your wireless is malfunctioning when in point of fact, it just takes a long time for it to boot up and be recognized. So make sure that your Wi-Fi switch is on, and sometimes it's on the side of the computer, which is not real great, and worse still, sometimes it's on the front of the computer, and a lot of the manufacturers have gotten away from that now because people would rub and finger the front of their computer and they would accidentally turn off the Wi-Fi signal. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is make sure that your Wi-Fi is enabled. On a lot of computers, IBM's, it'll be the F5 function key, pushing down the function key at the same time as F5 will enable or disable the wireless. The other big problem I often see is that people doing reinstalls do not have the proper drivers installed. And if you go to your start page, and this may host a little pop-up menu here, and if you go up to hardware, and you want to go to the device manager here, and this will show all the devices that are currently installed on your computer. And if you see any with a yellow question mark, and particularly you want to go and look at modems and network adapters there, host controllers, things like that. If you see any of them with a big prominent yellow question mark, it probably means that you don't have the proper driver installed, in which case you have to go to the manufacturer's website and you have to download that driver off of the website. I want to talk to you a second about some problems that people have downloading drivers. And one of the big problems with getting drivers to work properly is that people don't understand how drivers are packaged. They're used to programs that you download on your computer and you just click, one time to download, and it opens automatically and installs. Not so with a lot of drivers. A lot of drivers are zipped and they have to be extracted. In other words, they're like a bag of tricks, and you have to unzip the bag, and then all the various tricks pop out and work. But you have to understand that it's very important to unzip that bag or it won't install. And the way you do that is you can either go to your type in where you have run on your start page. You have a place where you can enter in your command, and you can put C:\\drivers, and that'll take you to the page where you think your drivers are downloaded, and they'll be waiting there for you, and you can actually click on them, and you'll see the thing like extract and install. So it's important to do that. A lot of drivers are not going to automatically install, and this is really the case with a lot of Intel wireless and a lot of wireless Broadcom products. They're not made to just download once and install. You have to go to your downloads page, drivers, and you have to find them there and install them. Okay. Best thing to do is get your drivers one at a time, install them. That way you don't get screwed up wondering what you did and what you didn't do in the way of drivers. You get those things all set and your Wi-Fi will work. I can almost guarantee it, because once again, the Wi-Fi card is pretty bulletproof as it sits in your computer. And it's just a question of making sure your Wi-Fi is enabled by turning on the button, and also making sure that your driver's properly installed. And also make sure that you're broadcasting. A lot of people forget to plug the cable between the router and the modem might not be plugged in, and you could sit there all day, and unless you're telepathic, you're not going to get any Wi-Fi. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I hope that you will rate, comment, and enjoy and subscribe. Thank you, guys.